This is Lawrence D. Adams, and today I'm going to talking about you may need to forsake some aspects of your culture. Many of the things that stop men, particularly black men, from moving forward are the things that they learn in their culture, standards and ways of living that they picked up from their mother, their father, and their environment. Those things are not serving you to move forward, but actually to hold you back. Many times we think it's the race that's holding us back, but it's not. It is the culture that we were shaped and formed in. And those cultural norms are stopping you from having success, even in relationships. So what I'm saying is, yes, know your race background, but also go deeper and begin to forge or begin to craft out a new culture for you. And what I mean by that, you have to start with your identity. With your new identity, then you take it to the next level and begin to craft out your own culture. That means things that you do that set you apart from other people. Things that are now your national holiday. Things that you do that says, this is what I eat. Things that you do that sets the precedence of this is what a family is to me. Many times we're trying to correct things around us, but we have not dealt with the culture that we were bred in, or even we've been fed in. So I challenge you to change your culture. Now, what I mean by change your culture, I'm going to say it again. I'm not saying for you to neglect the positive things in your culture, but I am saying now is to begin to craft up a culture that serves you. So when you begin to craft up a culture that serves you, then you bring the woman into your culture. Let me say that again. Then you begin to bring a woman into your culture. And now she conforms to your cultural norms, forsaking her culture. And so I think what happens as men, it's time for us to shed those cultural norms that we've been taught by our parents and by those around us and even by this Western mindset, and begin to embrace a culture that serves you best as a man. Now, when I say this doesn't mean you create a culture that is damaging or damning to anyone else, but you set a cultural norm that serves you best. I'm going to say it again, as a man. And I think when we begin to do that, you will begin to stand out amongst the masses because you do not look like them. You do not act like them. You do not dress like them. You have set the stage for the culture that you set forth inside of you. I can say that because I have a culture with my sons. We have a secret handshake. We have certain cultural norms that we do between us. Now that culture that I have cultivated with my sons will pass down to my grandkids with their wives, with my sons and their wives, and then my grandkids, because the culture or norms that I set in place as being Adam's men. If you're talking about changing anything, start with you. Next, if you have not set up your cultural norms inside of you, then you cannot expect someone to come into your world if you have no standards or you have nothing that you value as a man. So I'm saying this because I need to get men to wake up out of the culture that is not serving them. When you begin to do this, your life will begin to change. What, if I was to ask a question, what is your culture? How will you change your culture as a man? As you do this, watch your life begin to change. Culture is so important. The reason why men decide to go to other country, yes, it's because of the beautiful women. But deep down, it's because they have a different culture, norms and practices that benefits them, that serves them, that's not toxic. Many of the traits of the culture here in the Western world is toxic, dysfunctional, and we need to shed that to move forward. This is Lawrence D. Adams. Like, share, and comment. What are you going to do to adjust your own personal culture?